So once again, like I said, all right, welcome back because apparently this is part three, guys. All right, part three of the conversation the internet keeps pretending, they're scared to have. And since everybody else want to whisper about it, I'm going to be the one to say it with my whole chest. All right, should women go to prison for falsely accusing men? Yeah. All right, we going right there. And I'm gonna drop the link. All right, like I said, I'm gonna give whoever wants to come up 10-15 minutes to chop it up with a shorty. We're gonna keep it on topic because I only got two topics today. All right, shout out to the real ones. All right, and fuck the haters. And should false accusations? Should women go to prison for falsely accusing men? So the panel is going to be open in a minute. All right, and I want both ladies and men. All right, both ladies, fellas, to come here. With honesty, not ego. This topic is touchy. All right, and it's serious. It's one of those things that how can I say, people only talk about in private. But I'm not a private person when it comes to the truth. All right, I'm outspoken. I'm open minded, and I'm passionate. So hey, let's buckle up and let's talk about it. All right, ain't gonna sit here and lie. My personal life is private. But when it comes to situations that we could try to, probably bring a solution to or probably help the next person in, all right, even just by talking or bringing awareness to something or giving some advice, that right there matters. And I've shown it time after time. All right. That's why I said I need to get back to the old me. All right. I've been slacking. The podcast is I've noticed like, look, listen, shit ain't like before. All right. So it's kind of like, I need to get it together. So my biggest question to y'all is why do we treat the truth like it's, like it's dangerous? But let the lies run free. Let's make it make sense. Like, hopefully, I'm raw and uncut with it. All right. And sometimes people be, how can I say, putting the label in their foreheads when nobody's even talking about that. But listen, we've talked about this twice already, and every time, all right, every time, how can I say, I bring this topic up, especially out here, all right, it's like it turns like into a therapy session. See, social media is a little different, but out here it's like a therapy session, all right, mixed with how can I say, a courtroom mixed with a comedy show. But that's exactly why we got to keep talking about it because the reactions alone show how uncomfortable people, are with accountability. Folks love to scream, "Believe all women," but let's be real. Too many women have, used the words like abuse, grape, and assault in vain, and it has damaged the how can I say the credibility of real survivors. And I'm saying that as a survivor, all right? I'm not sugarcoating nothing. How can we protect real victims if we refuse to call out the fake ones? We got to be real about this shit, all right? And let's talk about the men, all right? The men for a second. Because society acts like men don't get abused. Men don't get assaulted. Men don't get manipulated. Men, no, nothing happens to men, all right? Let a man speak up. And suddenly, he's a meme, he's a joke, a punchline. It's 2026, not the 1600s. But the way people react to, male victims, you think that we're still, how can I say, we're still writing with fathers and ink. What I mean by that, right? It's hard to break down, right? And the crazy part is that some women know this, right? And they weaponize it. That's the part that makes my blood boil, right? Like, why is a man's pain entertainment but a woman's pain a movement? And it might sound crazy to a lot of people, but if you understand, you understand. If you know, you know. Like, it is real hard to break it down. I don't think I could break it down any more than what I'm breaking it down. And before anybody tries to twist my words, no, I'm not saying don't believe women, all right? I'm saying believe evidence, all right? Believe patterns, believe fact, believe consistency, because when a woman lies, she doesn't just hurt the man she accused. She hurts every survivor who's fighting to be heard. All right? Like, she hurts the women who actually lived through hell and are scared to speak because they don't want to, how can I say, be lumped in with the clout chasers. And it's a true fact. All right? Like, when did believe all women turn into ignore the truth? And that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of, because it's crazy. And let's be honest, Some of these false accusations come from revenge, jealousy, embarrassment, or straight up boredom. Social media made lying, how can I say, a sport. But I could be tripping. All right, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. People will, how can I say, people will ruin somebody's life, all right, for likes, for sympathy, for attention, for a storyline. And when the truth, comes out, everybody's suddenly quiet. Like the Wi-Fi went out. No apology, no accountability, no consequences, just vibes. Why is ruining a man's life easier than admitting you lied? All right. Meanwhile, the men who get falsely accused, they lose jobs, families, reputation, opportunities. Some even lose their freedom. All right. And when they're proven innocent, society doesn't give them, their life back. There's no my bad. There's no we were wrong. All right. There's no go for me for the damage done. And that's why I keep saying if a false accusation can destroy a man's life, then a liar should face the real consequences too. If the accusation carries a prison sentence, why doesn't the lie too? But I could be tripping on what I'm saying. All right. And I know some people are uncomfortable right now. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure, but in the past it has been proven. All right, that's good. Growth doesn't happen, in comfort. Healing don't happen in silence, and accountability don't happen in denial. All right, I'm not here to protect feelings. I'm here, to protect the truth. And if we want a world where survivors are taken seriously, then we need a world where liars are held accountable, point blank, period. Are we protecting victims or are we protecting narratives? And that's what, that's where the real question lies at. So before we jump into the second topic, all right, let's jump into this topic. All right, like, let's sit with this. Let's sit with this one. Let's talk about it honestly. Let's talk about it loud. All right. Let's talk about it without fear, because if we don't fix this conversation, we're going to keep watching innocent, how can I say, men get destroyed and real survivors get ignored. All right. And I refuse to let that side, how can I say, let that slide. So, let's get into it. All right. I'm about to drop the link. The panel is open. Like I said, man, let's keep it on topic. 10, 15 minutes. Chop it up with a shorty. Give your input. You can stay on the panel while we review and react to the videos. All right. But, we got to take this topic serious. All right. Ain't no joking around. We got Purple Podcast in the building. Shout out to Purple Podcast Show. I appreciate the support, man. Make sure y'all go check her out. She be having some great videos up there, man. But I'm not sure. I haven't seen. Have you been going live? I haven't seen you go live in a minute. Maybe I'm tripping. But let's get this John started. All right. I'm gonna show you.
Writers for life. Yeah. Used to be so warm. Now look at what you made me. Warm flow like a river through my veins. I gave you everything, completely blind to all the change. Too much love to give, a spirit far too fragile to bear. Now I'm drowning in the hate of a cold and empty stare. Left with a vessel that you pushed way beyond repair. You look at the ice, but you never saw the river flow. Mistaken illusions of the one you think you used to know. You met my kindness with a cold and bitter, sharp disdain. Now look at the fortress that I built to swallow up the pain. You thought you broke me down and left me standing in the dust, but you just taught me exactly who I can and cannot trust. Once tender and gentle, now I'm hardened with the pain. Every single sacrifice I made was all in vain. A fragile heart shattered by the heavy weight of it all. Left bleeding and broken, trying not to let you see me fall. You took my open hands and turned them straight into a wall. Yearning for solace, but met with only absolute scorn. Aching and heavily bruised, this fragile heart is completely worn. I used to look for shelter in the words you used to say, but every single promise was just destined to decay. Now I'm just sweeping all the broken glass out of the way. You look at the ice, but you never saw the river flow. Mistaken illusions of the one you think you used to know. You met my kindness with a cold and bitter sharp disdain. Now look at the fortress that I built to swallow up the pain. You thought you broke me down and left me stranded in the dust, but you just taught me exactly who I can and cannot trust. So much love to offer, yeah, only hate in return from your side, leaving deep-seated scars where the innocence used to reside. Scars that may never heal or ever find a way to unburn. I had to take the pain and make it something I could learn. Now it's a cold shoulder every single time you turn. You thought you broke me down and it left me stranded in the dust, but you just taught me exactly who I can and cannot trust. The river might be frozen, but the current's still alive. I shifted all the energy I needed to survive, and now I'm standing tall beneath the heavy autumn skies. You look at the ice, but you never saw the river flow. Mistaken illusions of the one you think you used to know. You met my kindness with a cold and bitter sharp disdain. Now look at the fortress that I built to swallow up the pain. You thought you broke me down and left me stranded in the dust, but you just taught me exactly who I can and cannot trust. You thought the sweetness was a weakness you could easily break. You never calculated every single breath that I take. I gave you gold and you returned it wrapped in nothing but rust. Now I am rising up directly from the ash and the dust. You want the heart that used to cry, but it is gone with the wind. This is the moment where your power over me has to freeze. I am the storm that's gonna bring your illusions right to their knees. You burn the quench, but I'm the one who's controlling the flame. No longer trapped inside the twisted rules of your game. I took the shattered pieces and I built a fortress of steel. You'll never reach the sacred parts you try to make me unfeel. Yeah, look at what you made. Frozen solid, brightest for life, and that's on everything. North Philly, baby, yeah.